Hello, I'm Kendall, and it is Thursday, September 16th, 2021, and this is my morning journal entry. Before we get started, I would like to invite you to subscribe to my channel so that you get updates every time I send one of these. You don't have to go searching around for them. Also, please like the video if you do like it, and I have a couple questions throughout the video I'd love to get your comments on. So for today, I'm answering the questions of where am I on the Dunning-Kruger graph and sharing what I learned from my first day of advanced fiction writing, which is the difference between story and plot. But first, a quick review of my goals and accomplishments. Yesterday's goals, so I missed one goal yesterday, which was to finish editing the conflagration for point of view and paragraphing. All the others, which were attend my first class and complete the assignments and edit my AI flash fiction called The Asterisk, are all complete. Overall, a very successful day. So, the difference between story and plot. This is my class that I took. So, our brains are two-lobed, right? We have logical on one side and we have emotional, creative on the other, to get super basic about it. Well, good tales have to engage both of these parts of our brain to entertain the reader. We want a logical plot that's filled with sequential events, like Bob went to the truck, Bob came back from the truck, Bob smashed the door with the axe from his truck, right? Logical, sequential events. And we also want a story with lots of emotions, like Bob slammed the door shut with a thud. Bob clutched the axe with white knuckles as he heard the cooing sounds of his newlywed bride from behind the bedroom, right? If we gave you all emotion, which is story, the reader would be lost in a whirlwind of emotions, right? Bob was sad, Bob was angry, Bob was resentful. If we gave you all logical plot steps, you'd be bored out of your mind. Bob walked, Bob opened. Not fun. So one pitfall I was running into that I've learned is that while I've been trying to really build the emotional tension in my tales, they really have been indexed highly on the physical or the plot, which makes sense since we spend all day in the physical world, right? It makes sense that that's the things we're constantly seeing and interacting with, so those are the things that we write about. So to be a better writer, I have to really lean in on the story part, the emotional side, to better build out the struggles my characters are attempting to overcome. Does that make sense, right? It's not enough just to show that he built through the door. I have to really define that internal struggle that's happening. And I've been pushing on that, but not as much and not with this type of structure. So yeah, speaking of learning, where am I on the Dunning-Kruger graph? So that's the next part. So the Dunning-Kruger graph, which I'll put right here, or the full meter, as I call it, shows this phenomenon that we all have, that I have done, you have seen probably a million times when we start a new subject. It's basically, as soon as we learn a teeny tiny bit about something, we are experts in it, right? We become confident in our mastery of it, right? These are the, in my family we always saying, all you gotta do is, and that's the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? When somebody has seen one video on how to build a shed and they come out like, well, all you gotta do is, that's the Dunning-Kruger effect. But as we dig more and actually become more skilled in it, our confidence drops and we slowly rebuild it with real sustainable knowledge, right? So where am I on it? I think I'm probably somewhere around, well, I'll let the arrow show where I think I'm at. I think I'm probably somewhere around there. It certainly changes with each skill I learn, though. Like, I'll read a book about descriptions, right, in writing, talking about, using these vivid descriptions, and then I'll go all in on writing a story creating vivid imagery, like The Sower, which I wrote several months ago. And I'll feel so accomplished and excited, right? I built this thing on imagery. But then boom, I start learning about character development and I see all the character development holes that I left, and then I drop again, right? So then I'll take a class on character development. I'll dig into it and I'll create a good story like the conflagration, and then boom, I start learning about emotional intrigue. And then I see the holes and I see, oh, that's why, that's why, right? That's why the story isn't as good as it could be. So I think on the larger Dunning-Kruger, I'm progressing, but then, like I said, with specific subjects, I'll still go through that same process. And so with each one of these, I think I move up the chart a bit more, but not without my little bruised ego and my hurt pride, but that's learning. Every day we get a little further up the chart. That's the important part. So speaking of which, concrete goals for today. So my concrete goals, brainstorm character flaws for my novel, finish editing the conflagration, and review 2 stories so that I can submit my green grocery story for critique. So that's what I'll work on today. Today will probably be the last work day since we're traveling this weekend, and so we'll be leaving tomorrow and then coming back on Monday. So yeah, I'll end up the week today. All right, have a great day, everybody.